Hi, okay, my name is Brittany Hodge. I'm going to be talking about the 6 Missouri Leader Standards and what kind of barriers we see meeting them. I'm going to go through, just list the first 6, and then I'll come back and kind of address them a little bit more and what barriers we see in them, trying to reach them. I'm going to base this more so on the athletic standpoint, just because personally for me, that is the route of career path that I want. I want to be in athletics. So the first goal is visions, missions, and goals. The second one is teaching and learning. The third one is management of organizational systems. The fourth one is collaboration with families and stakeholders. The fifth one is ethics and integrity. And then the last one, the sixth one, is professional development. So going back to the first one, visions, missions, and goals, a couple barriers that we commonly see in this is essentially the visions just not matching between the athletic director and the coaches. A big one I see a lot is the whole debate between winning versus participation. Most coaches, obviously, they want to win. Like that's the important part of athletics to them. And then you have some athletic directors where winning is important to them, yes, but getting students to participate is one of their major goals. So just kind of working through trying to get the coaches and the administration to have visions and goals match. And it might have to be a situation where you compromise. But nonetheless, making sure that the coaches and athletic director and staff and everyone are on the same page with what the goals are for the athletic department, what the goals are for the school is something that's very, very important. Going to the second standard, teaching and learning. Athletics is an extension of the classroom. I personally believe that. I grew up that way. Learning is the most important part of being an athlete. There's so many things you can learn by playing sports. And this kind of goes back to the winning versus participation, but I guess you can kind of say it's the winning versus the learning. Sometimes coaches and even athletic directors get caught up in, oh, I want to win, I want to win, I want to win. Yes, that's very, very important, but are you willing to sacrifice the winning for learning? So I think it's important for athletic administrators and the administration as a whole to really push learning as an important aspect of athletics. Going to the third one, management of organizational systems. This essentially comes down to ensuring a safe environment for all these athletes. Sometimes we kind of see coaches get out of line when it comes to disciplining their athletes. I know in college we have started to see some coaches, physically and mentally and verbally abuse their athletes, and that's very concerning. I wouldn't say we see that as much at the high school level, or even lower level colleges. We kind of see that a little bit more in the bigger D1s, all those stories coming out and whatnot. But as the administrator, you have to make sure your coaches understand that they have to behave in a manner that is acceptable, to create a safe environment for these students to be able to learn and to be able to participate in these sports and not be scared at any point in time. Going on to the fourth one, the collaboration with families and stakeholders. It's very important to have the community support, especially at the high school and college level. I know my high school, we would put on different nights for basketball where the bank would come in or Chick-fil-A would come in and kind of like sponsor us, and they would give out free t-shirts and free Chick-fil-A sandwiches and stuff like that. And it really brought the community together. I went to a very big high school, a very big town. There was 2 high schools in my one town. But getting the community there made it so much better for the athletes. Like, you got to play for a bigger crowd, and just having that support behind you is super important. And then relationship with parents. As administrators and coaches, you have to make sure you build a relationship with the parents of your athletes. Yes, you're in charge of your athletes on and off the field, but you also have to build that mutual respect with those parents. Those parents should know they can come to you with any issues and whatnot, although you do need to make sure you're drawing a line to where those parents can cross. We hear about all these stories about parents approaching coaches because their kids aren't getting enough playing time, and the players didn't even know their parents were going to do that. I think it's important for the coach to maybe have a meeting in the beginning of the year, or even the administrator have a meeting at the beginning of the year with all the athletes' parents, and just kind of lay out the guidelines of what is expected of the parents, what is expected of the coaches, and what's expected of their kids who are going to be your athletes. The next one, ethics and integrity. As an administrator, you have to make sure you are holding your coaches to an ethically and moral high standard. With that, you yourself, as the administrator, have to hold yourself to that same standard. You can't expect your coaches to act ethically and morally if you are not. I don't think we see that a lot. At least I personally have not seen that a lot at like the high school level, but I know it does happen. And then the last one, professional development. This one's a little bit more on the administrator and coaches side, but we expect our athletes to get better each and every day on the field, on the court, and in the classroom. So we cannot expect them to do that if we are not showing that we are also getting better. I think a lot of times coaches and administrators get comfortable in their ways, and they don't try and learn anything new. I was always taught, you never know everything. You can always learn something new, and that stuck with me. So I think it's very, very important for coaches and administrators to continue to develop their skills, to go to conferences, to read books, to talk to other coaches about how to get better. And it comes down to trial and error, trying new things and see if it works. That is pretty much it. I think it's important for administrators to make sure they go through each and every one of these standards and kind of reevaluate themselves in each one and see if they're meeting it, and talk to their coaches about how they're doing with all of these things. After looking through all these, I think it's very, very important to make sure you're meeting all these, and all 6 of these kind of go hand in hand together. So if you're lacking in one, you're most likely lacking in about 2 or 3 more of them. So that is it. Thank you.